So I think everybody in the United States at least, can recognize where we're at. We've all been here at like 2 in the morning, eating pancakes, right? Or is that just me? Anyway, this is Denny's. Let's head inside, and I'll take you on a full tour and walkthrough. Probably not quite as clean as last time you were here. No, actually there's a layer of roofing that has to be removed because it contains asbestos. But once that happens, the water just comes in with no resistance, turns all these ceiling tiles into little sponges, and creates the soggy mess you see in front of you. So we're on the corner of a pretty busy intersection here. Not a big deal, but a lot of people do wind up stopping and asking if we know what they're going to build here after we leave. And I have no idea. I swear to you, I do not know. I thought that picture was pretty cool. That's Riverfront Park. You can see the pavilion in the background. So let's head back here now. This is an area that not a lot of Denny's have, I'm told. This was the bar. This was a real bar. You could get beer, liquor, wine, whatever you wanted. Someone took the actual bar, though. That's probably in some lucky guy's man cave now. But yeah, let me know if you've ever been to a Denny's that had a bar in it before. I'd be curious to know just how common it is. Those are the bathrooms down that way. And up here we have the fun zone. It's pretty fun. Probably thousands and thousands of people sat in these booths over the years. Here's some more local pictures of the area. That's Dunkin' Gardens on the right, clock tower on the left. Alright, so let's head on back to the kitchen now. We'll see what's cooking back there. Sorry, I couldn't resist. And again, you just wonder how many thousands of people worked here over the years. In and out of this kitchen. If the walls could talk, right? This is like where the magic happens, I guess. All those breakfast slams and super birds came from right here. Yeah, so I guess back here would have just been like break areas, bathrooms, general storage, of course the walk-in coolers, stuff like that. Ice machine here. Watch that get crushed up later. But alright, let's head back up front now. It's about time to get this thing started here. Walking out of here for the last time. Believe it or not, a lot of people have a lot of good memories at this place. But alright, let's get started. So we're going to start in the back here. Take out this whole dumpster area first, and then start punching through into the kitchen area. And by the way, that Denny sign that I was just showing you, up front, yeah, we salvaged that. That thing was too cool to see go to the dump. metal pile is going to start growing pretty fast. In fact, most of the trucks you'll see getting loaded in this video are all heading to the scrapyard full of metal. It goes a little slow in the beginning like this, just because you're trying to get in there and see how this place is put together and make a plan on how best to take it apart. There's a stubborn piece of plywood on there that doesn't want to come off. We'll convince it eventually. start to see there's going to be a lot of material here that goes to all different places. Metal goes to one place, the block goes to another place, and all the just general wood and other debris goes to another place. So a lot of sorting out, keeping things separate. By the way, if you look under the bucket there, that's that ice machine we saw earlier. Now we got to sweep up a little bit before the truck pulls in, start getting some of this metal loaded up and out of here. Alright, that truck's gone and on the road, headed to the scrapyard. Time to pile up some more block. So this was pretty much the end of the day on the first day we were here. So we're just trying to get things kind of buttoned up and ready to leave overnight. This video was filmed a little while back, and you can see when we came back the next morning we had a little bit of a layer of snow on everything. Not too bad though. So day one always goes a little bit slow. You're just kind of figuring things out, and also starting in that kitchen area was about the most dense part of the building with everything in it. But now that we're up front in the dining room area, where it's just big and open, it starts going really fast. That glass breaking like that never gets old, does it? Don't forget to leave some comments down below. Let me know what your favorite part was. But keep watching, there's still a lot to go. Maybe your favorite part's still coming up. See the whole back of the excavator lifting up right there. That's a lot of force. for those of you out there that are always worried about the copper and what happens to it, well, here's a little example for you. It gets sorted out and set aside too. The power of these machines is just incredible to watch. Okay, that was pretty cool. That might be my new favorite part so far. There's not too much left standing here. This is that back corner where the bar was. We're just going to try and flip all this debris over into the footprint of the building. Sort out some of this metal that comes off. So now that the whole building is basically down, it's just a matter of sorting everything out and keeping these trucks loaded and on the road. You kind of want to leave this block standing as long as you can, so you have a chance to get everything away from it before you drop it. Use a different style trailer to load block and concrete, and all the concrete here does go, so it makes sense to wait till the end when you're already going to have a concrete trailer here anyway. Yeah, things are looking a little different around here. Like I said, you just got to keep those trucks loaded and on the road. This stuff eventually goes away. So this is the front where that Denny's sign once was. Once we get all this debris and metal loaded up and out of here, we can bring in a different style trailer, start loading up all this block and concrete. There's still a lot of it here. But after keeping the trucks loaded and on the road, it starts looking like this. It looks pretty good, but don't let it fool you. There's still a lot of concrete here. Between the floor and the footings, we're going to be at this a while. That Dutch Bros back there was always super busy. The people working there were really cool though. They even came over one day and offered us free coffee. It was really nice of them. good sized footings. They had to support all those block walls. There is actually one thing left standing here, but we can fix that. Dropped it right in the last little metal pile. Perfect. Alright guys, well that's about it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. I know I've always been a fan of Denny's, so it was a little bit bittersweet tearing it down. But let me know what you guys think. Remember to leave some comments down below. Let me know your favorite part. Let me know if you got any good memories at Denny's. Just whatever you think. I like reading all the comments. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram too. I'll put the link in the description of this video. And I got a bunch more cool stuff coming up soon, guys, so make sure you're subscribed and getting the post notifications. But hey, thanks again everybody for watching and following along. Really appreciate it. I will see you guys in the next one.